In the year 2000, 189 nations signed up to a new global partnership to reduce extreme poverty and set time-bound targets with a deadline of 2015. These 8 targets became known as the Millennium Development Goals. This year marks the halfway point in pursuit of those goals. 2007 also marks the 200-year anniversary of Parliament's history-making bill abolishing the slave trade. After nearly 2 decades of tirelessly campaigning for the bill that would mark the beginning of the end of the slave trade, William Wilberforce finally realized his dream. However, 200 years later, millions of people are still waging their own wars against the bonds of contemporary forms of slavery. These 2 significant points in history inspired a team of young people to go on a fact-finding mission to explore the ways that people are combating modern-day slavery in the summer of 2007. The young people, armed with still photography and video equipment, began researching Zimbabwe, Sierra Leone, and Dominica, finding numerous stories and statistics of the devastation caused by HIV/AIDS, political unrest, civil war and economic collapse. They braced themselves to find hopeless and desperate people. What they actually found was very different. LifeLine network has been in operation for over 25 years, placing a high priority on relationship and local leadership. The network encourages the cross-border sharing of information, disseminating best practice, and working towards a worldwide strategic approach to sustainable development. This emphasis on relationship was demonstrated by the way the young people were immediately seen as part of the team rather than visitors. There was a mutual respect and honoring in the opportunities for all to learn and to teach. Local organizations are shaping their communities through a range of social and business endeavors. These locally inspired solutions are providing real hope to the communities and a vibrancy across the network.
If you go into Kontolo community, we see 1 or 2 carpentry workshops. These are all students that came from LifeLine Vocational Institute, and they are into the community and they are becoming self-reliant and they are benefiting the community as well. So that's the impact I feel LifeLine has on the community.
Frontline is not interested in relief or humanitarian initiatives that are short-term and that promote dependency.
A lot of these people have been retrenched from their workplaces. So the advantage that we have is that they have got the skills. He's just taking what he learned or what he was doing from his workplace. So expertism wise, we are rich. These people, they know what they are doing.
In Sierra Leone, the late Richard Coe was passionate about rebuilding the country after a devastating decade-long civil war. Working with rescued child soldiers, he set up a rehabilitation center, community school, clinic, and vocational skills programs. This attitude and approach challenged the network to think bigger and lead the way in their communities. The team in Sierra Leone now faces the challenge of guiding these former child soldiers on into the next stage of their lives. Several of these remarkable young people are now attending university, an achievement which once would have been beyond what they would have dared to dream. With an unemployment rate of 70%, disaffected youth and high poverty levels have led to a discontent which many fear may reignite another war. Vocational training, accessible education and community food for work schemes have begun to provide direction and to put a positive future within the reach of thousands. Pioneering programs for people with HIV/AIDS in Dominica has been replicated by network partners in Zimbabwe. Programs like Life Goes On and Victory Support humbled and inspired the team of young people whose preconceived notions were completely blown away by the hope demonstrated. One by one, people spoke of the inspiration they had received from other members of the group who stepped out and got tested and encouraged them to follow in kind. That step has dramatically enhanced their lives. They now understand that they can still provide for their families and contribute to their communities. Working together, they are taking initiative in sustainable income generation projects, as well as being at the forefront of HIV/AIDS awareness in their own communities, proving with their lives that life does indeed go on. The young people saw sustainable agricultural projects, vocational training, new business startups and educational initiatives by people who had once been disregarded. Widows, young people and those infected with HIV/AIDS showed the team around their successful projects, new businesses and homes. The real demonstration of global partnership for development stood out to the young people the most. Through global partnership, they were able to see the way we can achieve the rest of the goals. The people and projects that make up LifeLine Network are demonstrating an effective level of cooperation and coordination. Working across cultures, religions and nations, investment must be in the local people, empowering them to change their own destinies.